It just so happens that more people watch our videos without a subscription than with it. Let's fix it. Subscribe to the channel. By doing so, you won't miss anything interesting about the Star Wars universe, and we will be very pleased by this. Your subscription is the best support for us. Thank you all in advance. At the end of 2023, the Empire magazine, which works closely with Lucasfilm and Disney, officially announced the second season of Tales of the Jedi, a successful anthology of short films about the Star Wars universe. And this is wonderful because the first season has become truly touching, epic and important for the story. I'd especially like to mention the story arc about Count Dooku, which not only showed several turning points in the character's life, but also revealed the general mood of the galaxy during that time period, showing corruption on the planets, the short-sightedness of the Jedi Council, and the rise of darkness, which will soon envelope all systems and plunge the galaxy into the abyss of war. Ahsoka's story arc was also not bad. However, I believe that there are much more interesting and significant characters for the Star Wars universe that haven't been properly revealed. Tales of the Jedi was an experimental project and clearly not designed to make a high profit from a Disney Plus subscription, but Lucasfilm still invested a lot of money in it and achieved the highest level of development. Not even mentioning the invitation of an entire orchestra to record the soundtrack for each episode, which was not done even for The Mandalorian. Nevertheless, contrary to all forecasts, the project became incredibly successful and therefore received an extension for the second season almost immediately, announced at Celebration 2023. Once again, the project will be released in the format of short films, but the number of episodes may be more than the first season. At the moment, Lucasfilm is closely engaged in the development of the project and plans to release it towards the end of 2024. Dave Filoni and his team promised to make the second season of Tales of the Jedi more global and re-explore those time periods in the galaxy about which little is known. Since the development of animation projects always takes place inside a closed studio, from which nothing leaks out, insiders cannot get the cherished details of the project, but that's why it's more interesting, isn't it? Therefore, I would like to speculate on the possible plot of the second season and present to you my vision of an ideal sequel. As for you, write down in the comments whether you agree with me or not, or even better, offer your concept. Agreed? So, you'll probably find my concept a little bit strange, but I don't want to see Obi-Wan, Anakin, Ahsoka, and other popular characters in the second season of Tales of the Jedi. Many people find the idea of Anakin's early years interesting and how Kenobi tried to make a Jedi out of him. It's cool, but you know, characters like Anakin and Obi-Wan have been in every possible position. Everything that can happen to the characters in any storytelling genre has already happened to them, and we, as viewers and fans, will not learn anything new about them. Most likely, their story arc will consist entirely of Easter eggs and of fan service, and it will turn out like with Ahsoka in the first season. Therefore, I believe that it is necessary to devote precious screen time to the same interesting and significant characters that also shaped the fate of Star Wars, which, unlike the same Anakin, remain unsolved to this day. The ideal candidate for the main role is Master Sifo-Dyas. It is his name that we hear in the second episode when Obi-Wan first visited the Kaminoans and learned about the creation of the clone army, which was allegedly ordered by Sifo-Dyas himself. He was once a good friend of Count Dooku. However, for Dooku himself and his Lord Palpatine, Sifo-Dyas became just a puppet who was used to perform various operations that were set to hide Dooku's involvement and deflect suspicion from him. In the first season of Tales of the Jedi, we were shown how Dooku used his friend's past to get into the archive of the Jedi Temple and erase data about the planet Kamino. And in the animated series Clone Wars, Master Plo Koon arrived on the moon of the planet Obadiah and found the wreckage of Sifo-Dyas' shuttle and his lightsaber. Later, Anakin and Obi-Wan investigated the cause of the Jedi's death but could not find out anything, and the circumstances of his death remained a mystery shrouded in darkness. The legends say that his blood was used for transfusion into the new body of General Grievous. It would be logical to continue this story arc further and finally reveal all the details of the tragedy with Sifo-Dyas. This story would fit perfectly into the setting of Tales of the Jedi. The second candidate for the main role may be Quinlan Vos. This is a very interesting and non-standard Jedi whose image is quickly remembered due to his unique charisma. But Quinlan is notable not only for his goofy behavior, but above all for his importance to the Jedi Council. It would seem that the most dangerous and responsible tasks are best entrusted to experienced, disciplined masters. However, the Council often relied on Quinlan in such matters because thanks to his extraordinary abilities and murky connections throughout the galaxy, he easily infiltrated the ranks of the criminal world and became his own among them. If anyone doesn't know, he even watched Qui-Gon on Tatooine, simultaneously carrying out an espionage mission and did not give himself away. Vos also had an indomitable will, which is why attempts to break him always ended in failure. In the novel, The Dark Disciple, the Council completely entrusted him with the elimination of Count Dooku, and in the process of completing this dangerous task, he became friends with Ventress and even entered into sexual contact with her, so to speak, and later accepted the dark side, almost mired in it, but still floated out and did not change his principles. In addition, Quinlan is the master of Aayla Secura, a very memorable Twi'lek whom you all know very well, in different ways. What a huge amount of experience Quinlan Vos carries on his shoulder and therefore deserves the right to his own arc in the Tales of the Jedi. The next candidate for the main role is Master Plo Koon. I think you all know him very well, and although Plo Koon got enough screen time in the Clone Wars, there are two important points in his story. First, he was the one who found little Ahsoka and brought her to the Jedi Order. The second one is Dave Filoni's favorite character. Well, the stars have come together here. Filoni adds Ahsoka everywhere, even when it is not necessary to do so, and Plo Koon also gave Ahsoka's ticket to life. I don't want to dwell on it for a long time, because the most important thing for getting the main role in Tales of the Jedi I have already described, and I think the last ideal character for the main role is General Grievous. Yes, he is not a Jedi, however, he has lived his entire cybernetic life burning with hatred for the Order and dealing with the Jedi with special cruelty, collecting the lightsabers of fallen enemies for his collection. Grievous did not occupy the last space in the Confederate Army, and all this robotic appearance of the character itself prompts us to think, why did he become like this? And why does he hate the Jedi? Legends certainly have an answer to this question, but they have no significance for Disney. Therefore, I think it is a correct and logical idea to show us Grievous's youth, to take him through the turning points that changed him, to reveal the reason for such an ardent hatred of the Jedi, to show how he destroyed the first of them, and most importantly, why he eventually became a cyborg. His story is as unsolved as the story of Sifo-Dyas, and Grievous himself is extremely popular. Why not dedicate the story arc of Tales of the Jedi to him, and at the same time give fans a glimpse to the birth of separatism? And do you know what unites all the heroes I have named? The most significant events in their lives occurred in the same time period shortly before the first episode. Moreover, their paths crossed one way or another. The first season showed us that this era is very interesting because it is full of turning points, events that changed the galaxy once and for all, and at the same time, we know practically nothing about it. So why not tell us the story leading up to the first episode and explore this time better through characters significant to the Star Wars universe like Sifo-Dyas, General Grievous, Quinlan Vos, Plo Koon, and others? The only thing that needs to be changed, in my opinion, is to turn the project into a full-length cartoon and roll it out in cinemas, or release it on streaming TV and make it a prequel of the first episode in order to cover not only individual characters, but all of them at once. I think it's going to be fun, and so we are waiting for the release of the second season of Tales of the Jedi in the fall of 2024. Write your opinion in the comments, subscribe to the channel, and like the video. All this inspires us to create new interesting videos. Thanks a lot for watching, and bye to everyone. May the Force be with you.